Johto is the worst generation in terms of Pokemon design. The games are fun, sure, but a vast portion of the Pokédex is filled with absolute failures of Pokemon, both in a conceptual and visual sense. With a few simple points, I will demonstrate to you irrefutably why Johto has more accursed Pokemon than any other generation. As you can see, a good deal of the Johto Pokédex is just everyday animals masquerading as Pokemon. Hey look, it's a bulldog, but it's standing on 2 feet instead of 4. Holy shit! Oh wow, it's a standard milk cow. That's so amazing. Oh my god, it's killing my teeth! Think I'm exaggerating? Scroll the Pokédex sometime and you'll start to notice a pattern. Yeah, there's some standout Pokemon designs in there, sure, but for every amazing Pokemon in Johto, there is an equally ugly or uncreative Mon to match it. For every Tyranitar, there is a ferret named Furret. Spinnerack is just a spider and nothing more, no matter how many luxury brand watches he flexes. This is literally just a fish that already exists in real life. They did the bare minimum to translate this thing into Pokemon. This thing's very cute. I love Politoed, but he is just a toad. Now Heracross is my boy, but he's pretty much just a bipedal beetle. A rhino beetle, to be exact. Okay, this thing's just a fucking dragonfly. And this thing's just Mrs. Puff. Pinecone. Who designed any of these Pokemon? These are not pocket monsters. These are just animals that trainers are cramming into their balls and starting fight rings with. Half the trainers in this region need to be arrested at a minimum. I highly doubt Japan is okay with something akin to dogfighting being in its game. Oh. Never mind. Now don't get me wrong, every single generation has some awful, and I mean awful, Pokemon designs. Yes, even your precious Gen 1. But to me, what makes Johto's designs go from just bad to unforgivable is the evolutions. It defies all logic, but some of these evolutions serve only to make these already bland Pokemon less interesting. For an example, let's look at Hoot. Alright, so we have a cute little ball-shaped owl who hops around on 1 foot. He's pretty adorable, he's got a cute name. I can't wait to see what direction they take him. I think you could argue this is actually a devolution. We've gone from the fun fantasy world of Pokemon into the realm of real life. All right, here we have a little toy bulldog thing. That's cool, I guess. But let's see where they go with this one. Oh, okay, he's still just a bulldog, but I guess he's ready to stud now. On the face of it, the Meganium evolution line isn't terrible, but it gets points knocked off because it's based off of dinosaurs, and just the previous generation's grass starters were already clearly based off of dinosaurs. Now I know what you're thinking, of all of the creatures in Johto, was Ladybaugh one needing an evolution? And the answer is yes. Okay, so this next one, in my opinion, is the perfect encapsulation of Johto's issues with its evolutions. Enter Teddy Ursa, a tiny little unassuming teddy bear come to life. He's nothing special, he's cute enough, he gets the job done. But when you get him to level 30, well, that's when things get crazy. Did someone get paid for this? Did someone get paid to conceptualize Remoraid or Ursa Ring? They barely even changed the name from some of these from the animals they're based off of. To be honest, I think nature has a very legitimate legal case on its hands if it wanted to sue Game Freak. Alright, let's take a break from the negativity. I know I just spent some time shitting on Johto, so let's take a brief intermission and compliment some of the Pokemon in it. Caesar's a badass and I love him. Tyranitar canonically eats ass and I gotta respect that. Sudowoodo is fantastic design all around, you can't hate on him. Alright, but that's it though, no more compliments. So unfortunately, Johto's Pokédex, when compared to Kanto's, is considerably smaller. So for me, it's much harder to overlook the occasional dugong. When you're wasting countless new Pokemon slots on pine cones and bears, I feel like there's just so much missed opportunity there. Alright, while we're here, we might as well just take some time to shit on some of the ugly ass Pokemon in this region that aren't necessarily uncreative, but, you know, hideous. Now, I had always assumed that fire-type Pokemon were naturally immune to fire, but going by Magby's forehead, maybe I was wrong. Now, Elekid might seem like a conceptually superfluous Pokemon, sure, but actually serves a very important purpose, at least for half of Johto's population. If Apoms actually existed, I would personally take it upon myself to eat every single one of them until they no longer existed. Pichu is one of the most pointless Pokemon ever created. Yes, even including Carnivine. Pichu was clearly created to be even cuter than their mascot Pikachu, but it didn't work. Why? Because Pikachu is already at maximum cuteness. You can't get cuter than Pikachu. And that's not my opinion. Look at any Smash Bros tier list and it'll back me up. This thing was actually supposed to be the Pikachu of Generation 2. And I'm not even joking. Did you know that? If you'll notice, it's even a mouse, just like Pikachu. But it didn't take off like Pikachu. It didn't become a mascot. You know why? Because even kids could tell that this thing was bullshit. Also, it evolved into this, which didn't help. In conclusion, I would rate Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal a solid 9 out of 10. Just some really amazing, well-made games.